You might own a business, or your spouse owns a business, and it's possibly your biggest asset. And you may be asking, so who's going to get the business at the end of the day when we get done being divorced? I'm Jim Krayeveld, founding attorney at Krayeveld Family Law. Been doing this for over 3 decades. First step is, of course, the analysis. Is this marital property or is this separate property? If one of the parties started the business, built it up prior to the marriage, and it's been mostly increased in wealth outside of the marriage, that portion will at least be separate property. But if you started it or built it during the marriage, it's probably marital property that's subject to division. And if the parties are intending to sell it, well, then the sales value will be what it is. But if one of the parties has been the primary owner of the business and they're the ones that built it up, they've spent their life, sweat and tears building their business and want to keep it, it's going to have to be valued. Sometimes people will have real estate as part of the equation. You have to get a real estate appraiser. If there's going to be a business that's being operated on it, you need a business valuation expert. And sometimes there are subcategories of needing to have an expert value equipment or whatnot. If the parties can reach an agreement on using one expert, it may cut down on costs, but sometimes parties don't trust each other, don't trust the party's proposed expert, and then they have to get 2 of them. Business valuation experts, for example, will be $5,000, $10,000 on up, and if you've got 2 people providing an opinion, then at least the court has something to rely on. Now, if those opinions come back at similar numbers, you might be able to settle. But if they're far apart, you're going to have to figure out, are you going to go to mediation and get it settled, or is the court going to have to make a decision? Some parties have been working in their business together, and they're saying, can we continue working on it together? Yes, you can. It might not be advisable. You're getting divorced for a reason, that you couldn't reach agreements and you couldn't get along. But sometimes people want to keep running their business. You probably ought to get a corporate attorney involved to set up a partnership agreement. Who's going to be responsible for what tasks? When you do reach a point where you can't compromise or reach agreements, who's going to buy the other party out? What's going to happen at death or at retirement? Again, so you'll need to have that completely figured out if you're going to continue running it together. But if you're not, and you're going to have one party buy out the other, you may have the issue of how are you going to pay for the other partner's equity share. Can be offset. For example, one person may want to keep the business and have it offset by the value of the house. So one party gets the house, the other gets the business. If that isn't enough to equalize the values, you may include some of the retirement accounts. One of the other options is that people have to go get a business loan and they buy out the other party with a payment plan. And again, all these different structures are options that you can discuss with your attorney. As you've gathered, this is not a subject area that you should be going alone. You probably need the assistance of good counsel. If you need our help, give us a call. Hopefully this helps. Thank you.